Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Friday morning to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there, feeling great. Hopefully, your stomach isn't too upset from all the food that you ate yesterday. I know mine was rumbling yesterday evening, but really thankful that I'm not waking up to an upset stomach this morning. I've been on a very strict diet, so eating all that food yesterday, my body did not like it too much. But speaking of yesterday, I certainly hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. Whatever that you were doing, hanging out with friends and family, eating good food, playing some backyard football, just having a great day. I certainly hope you guys were having a great day. But here to give you an update on what's going to happen weather-wise for your Friday. You might be traveling back home, whatever you may be doing. We got you an updated forecast on what could happen weather-wise for today. The big story in this morning's video is going to be breaking down this winter storm across the middle of the country. Some areas will see their first snows of the season, and not just see their first snows, but you could see a lot of snow. So kind of starting it off with a bang here, and this happens in certain areas. You go from you don't have no like a slow buildup or anything like that, where you have a couple small storms, some medium storms, and then a really big storm. For certain areas, it starts off with a bang, and that'll certainly be the case across areas of the Great Plains a little bit later tonight into tomorrow morning. So we'll break that down in great detail, talk about some rain falling across areas of the southeast, a little bit of lake effect energy ongoing this morning, and we'll break all this down in great detail. I've struggled mightily this morning starting this video. Probably one of my worst starts video-wise of the year. Just been struggling to get going. So hopefully the words don't get tangled up too much. There's not much clearing of the throat. It's just everything and its brother is fighting against me this morning. I don't know why. So we'll work our way through it in great detail and try to pump out some good information for you folks. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it, and if you folks got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put those in the comments below so I can pray over it and so others can do so too. And I'll get to those comments from this video and yesterday morning's video a little bit later today, and get all that called up for you folks. So let's get going here. We're just going to start off by looking at the radar. As you can tell, snow is falling across a good chunk of Nebraska. Snow is falling in areas especially of northwest Kansas, still snowing in Colorado, and will continue to snow for most of the day. Snowing pretty heavily in areas of southern Utah, snowing up in northern Utah, still back up in Idaho, areas of Nevada. This is kind of wave number one. There will be another area of heavy precipitation that gets going later tonight and begins to cross over kind of the southern plains. Okay, this is when a lot of heavy snow could begin to, there goes the twisting of the words, could begin to fall across areas of Kansas. And even the panhandle of Oklahoma, and this eventually will overspread across areas of the Midwest. Okay, like Kansas City, St. Louis could see their first flakes of the season. I really think they will. But the southeast seeing some rain this morning, as you can tell. Definitely a soggy start to your Friday morning in areas. We'll break that down for you folks. And like you can see up here, a little bit of lake effect snow activity ongoing off Superior, Lake Michigan, little interior northeast snow falling too, but not heavy at all. So that's what's going on out there right now. What about the Storm Prediction Center? Could be a risk of some thunderstorms in this green area right here, but guys, if anything, it might be some thunder snow. So some heavy precipitation is really getting going in this region of the country, and will eventually, I guess you could say, eject across areas of the middle of the country later on today. So this is kind of the beginning stages of our developing low pressure that will really get going, that will really enhance the precipitation in the form of some heavy snow across these areas. So we'll break that down here in a second. The excessive rainfall outlook is below a 5%, so it's not going to show up on your map here, but that's good news. There's no risk of flash flooding today at all. Watches, warnings, advisories. It doesn't take a weather nerd to see where this winter storm is across the country. Ongoing winter storm warnings in Wyoming, western Nebraska, all those places. The winter weather advisories are in this purple color, and this teal color, that is winter storm watches. So if you notice, there's a cutoff between winter storm warnings to the north and to the south down here in Kansas. And you ask, Mitch, why isn't this connected here? Well, this is off what's going on right now. Okay, another low will form and bring another wave of precipitation across these winter storm warning counties here in Kansas and winter weather advisories later tonight. So this is kind of, I guess you would say, a separate event. And that is why there's no connection here. Could these connect later on today? It might, but I doubt it. But if it does, it's not going to change much except the confidence and maybe a little bit more heavy snow. But certainly if you're a snow fan and you live in this county or this county, you're like, man, I wanted to be part of this winter storm warning. I know that's the way I would be thinking. But anyways, this really gets kind of cranked up later tonight for like Oklahoma, especially Kansas, later tonight into the wee hours of the morning to tomorrow morning. So we'll break all this down in great detail for you folks. But the southeast this morning, we're dealing with some rain across Florida. This will continue. You could get some shower activity kind of in the bayou of Louisiana later today. Most of the southeast is quiet. Honestly, the only state that could see some moisture today falling from the sky is Florida. We'll see some rain shower activity on and off for, I would say, anywhere from Gainesville point south, maybe even Jacksonville point south. You could get some on and off sprinkles. Maybe later this evening, they will become a little bit more widespread. You'll see it a little bit more. But not everybody will see rain, but there's a good chance there'll at least be some dampness out there for a good portion of the peninsula of Florida. So this continues. You get into the overnight hours, and we're going to be dealing with it later tonight, even and all the way into tomorrow morning. You're still waking up to some shower activity, but this isn't going to add up to much. Not a big deal. Not really expecting any thunderstorm activity, but most of the southeast is pretty quiet today. There's not a whole lot going on. And same thing for the northeast. I mean, we get into about lunchtime this afternoon, and yeah, it's pretty quiet. In fact, we were on Saturday. We need to back it up to Friday. Let me make sure I didn't just show you. No, we're good. Okay. Get my days mixed up. So we'll start off this morning, little bits of flurry activity falling out there. You got a pretty nice lake effect snow band going off Lake Huron to southern Ontario, and some energy could transfer into Lake Erie, maybe Lake Ontario a little bit later today. So by the time you get into this afternoon, if you're in Erie, maybe south of Buffalo, could get some festive flakes flying around out there. Very possible. Could put a dusting of snow on the ground. So if you're traveling in these areas, some bursts of snow is possible. If you're putting up the Christmas tree in this region, could have some festive snow falling outside while you're doing it. But I don't think this will be a big deal. We get into the overnight hours. Maybe some lake effect snow might get going off Lake Ontario into the Finger Lakes region. So not a big deal at all. Dusting, maybe an inch of snow at most in these little sections that I just showed you folks. But, the south central U.S. will be different. Snow is falling in northwest Kansas, areas of Nebraska, certainly in Colorado this morning. This will continue for this area. And you're thinking, well, why aren't we seeing snow in more of these winter storm warning areas in Kansas and even Oklahoma? Well, like I said, this happens a little bit later tonight. We get into this afternoon. If you look over here at our friends here in Colorado and New Mexico, you're starting to see another push of precipitation moving in. This is really going to increase the snowfall rates in areas of Colorado where snow will really begin to add up. Even will begin to add up in areas of northern and higher terrain of New Mexico. And then we start to get into about the midnight time frame. This is when some snow begins to enter the panhandle of Texas. I'm going to pull up Google Maps here on the fly. Let's see if I got it up, and I do not. Well, yeah, I do. Here, we're good. This is when the snow starts to ride kind of Interstate 40. I think you could start to see some snow if you're kind of a night owl in Amarillo. Dumas, Texas, snow begins to fall, and the panhandle, pretty much anywhere in the panhandle of Oklahoma, will start to see accumulating snow. Okay, this is getting to about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we're waking up tomorrow morning around 6, 7 a.m. A big area of snow really begins to take over, especially the central portion of Kansas. I mean, it's even snowing at this point, maybe in Woodward, Oklahoma. Still on and off snow showers moving through Amarillo. I'll be interested to see if these winter alerts kind of move a little bit further south into areas of the panhandle of Texas. But we'll stop it right here, okay? And we'll go on and kind of zoom into these regions. So we're going to go out a little bit further throughout the entire rest of the weekend. If you're living in, for example, in northern Missouri, you're like, Mitch, you're leaving us hanging out. We need an update too and what's to come. I got you covered. But let's talk about let's work our way kind of west to east, if you will. So snowfall in these higher terrain areas of New Mexico. Santa Fe could certainly get some snow from this. And, Farmington probably won't get a whole lot. But, these higher elevations right here of New Mexico just depends on where you are. But you get on up there, a lot of heavy snow can fall. Snowfall between now and the rest of the event in Colorado, it really picks up in the southwestern higher elevations of Colorado. I mean, it really gets going, okay? I really think Colorado Springs could get a little bit some more snow tonight. Pueblo, Grand Junction will get some snow. And all these other areas, Durango, snow, heavy snow, most likely tonight. You guys might be kind of right on the south of the edge of these higher elevations. Like I said, I don't know all these geographical features. I mean, I obviously know where it's showing the most snow. That's where your higher elevations is. But this area of the Rockies right down here is going to get rocked tonight with some really, really heavy snow from this, okay? So let's go on and shift our focus to outside of the higher elevations of the Rockies and get into the plains. So a closer look at the watches and warnings. I know you folks out here that are viewing from Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, etc., know your counties more than I do. I don't pretend to know every county in the U.S., but here it is, like the heart of Kansas. This is where the brunt of the worst will be. It looks like Dodge City. Man, it's hard to tell. Looks like y'all are under that winter storm warning. But Dodge City on up to Great Bend, Salina, Hutchinson, Great Bend. I think I already said that. Manhattan. What it looks like you guys might be right on the fringe of a winter storm warning, winter storm watch. All these counties out here look about the same. This looks like a square with a couple indentions. But anyways, guys, this is where the heart of the winter storm warning is going to be. This is what's going on right now. And even, northwest Kansas, this winter storm advisory that you have is what's going right now. But, if you go down here to the panhandle of Texas, you guys, Amarillo, you don't have a winter weather advisory. This might change a little bit later today. Woodward, you do. This does not make it all the way to Weatherford, Oklahoma, or Oklahoma City or anything like that. But, you got winter storm watches, up for like Wichita. Okay, winter storm watches do not extend all the way into Kansas City. You got to make your way about an hour or so west before you start to get into winter storm watches. But, I wouldn't be surprised you get some winter weather advisories even into Kansas City later on today. But let's break this down in detail. Okay, starting off tomorrow morning. This is when the heavy snow begins to overspread. I mean, and we're really focusing in on Oklahoma real quick. But, this could be convective in nature. I would not be surprised we get a little bit of thunder snow that shows up. Okay, Woodward, you're going to be right on the fringe of some heavy snow and just a mix. But look, I mean, this is getting into around 11 a.m., noon tomorrow. Just some rounds of heavy snow moving its way kind of through, right? But you get deeper into Kansas, and this is just a shield of moderate to heavy snow moving in. And this is when the snow levels could begin to drop south, and it starts to change from rain to snow, like certainly in Woodward, but even south of Woodward, you guys could certainly start seeing some snow right at the end of this. Does this make it down to like Sealing? It's very possible you guys could get a mix for sure. But man, I mean, this is some really heavy snow. Okay, let's go on and move up here. Well, we can continue to break down Kansas right into here, but Kansas, this is Wichita. You guys could get some very heavy snow, even though you're kind of right on that fringe of the warning and the watch. But Hutchinson, Salina, these regions, heavy snow tomorrow afternoon. I mean, even to tomorrow morning, okay? But man, there's going to be a kind of a stripe right before the rain and kind of right where the rain and snow line is, okay? That's where it's going to be the heaviest, wettest snow. But someone's going to get a jackpot area in that region. But, this begins to take over, guys, tomorrow morning. Takes over a lot of the state of Kansas. And, I mean, you got, Kansas City right into here. I mean, it shows tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. This switching to some heavy snow for Kansas City. It does. So, will this be a kind of a sneaky winter storm for you folks? I think it's possible in Kansas City if you're viewing. Okay, this shows some very heavy snow right up here. I mean, starting as early as tomorrow afternoon, lasting until deep into the night, tomorrow night. But look at this down here, okay? This shows the rain switching to a little bit of snow tomorrow night, even for Oklahoma City, okay? And then this heads on out. All right, let's break it down a little bit further northeast. And here it is. And let's go on and zoom out so I know exactly where everything is. So, Kansas City. Man, get it out the 2D form. There we go. We're ready to go now. But Kansas City, kind of right, right into here, right? No, that's St. Louis. Okay, I'm getting it all confused. Kansas City, right into here. All right, it's showing snow moves in tomorrow as early as 1 to 2 p.m., guys. It doesn't even show this starting off as rain, just pure snow. Okay, and then it picks up late tomorrow afternoon. But there is some differences of the models. That's why they haven't issued a winter storm watch or anything. I mean, but it snows throughout the rest of the afternoon, the evening, guys. It goes all the way into deep into the night. I mean, it shows snow moving and taking over all of the northern half of Missouri by the time you get into about midnight. It's snowing like crazy. I mean, in areas of Missouri, Columbia points north, basically Interstate 70 points north, Saint Joseph all the way up to Quincy. You guys are seeing snow, and then here's St. Louis right here. Snow moves in. And this is as far out as the HRR model goes, unfortunately. In fact, we might have. No, we don't. Let's see. How far out does this go? Nope, only goes out 18 hours. So it was still stuck with the latest long-range HRR model, but it shows an area of pretty heavy snow about to blast into St. Louis right in the middle of the night tomorrow night. Okay, so interesting development. The HRR model definitely has this cold. Okay, low pressure down here, so if you're in kind of southwest Missouri, I don't think you're going to see snow from this, and maybe some backside flurries. But yeah, and then you get into the upper Midwest, and you continue to move this. The NAM has this reaching you guys in St. Louis a little bit later, but even the NAM has snow. The NAM's going to be a little bit different than the HRR model. You stop it here, go all the way to about 6, 7 a.m. Sunday morning, Midwest time and Central time. And I mean, you got light to at times moderate snow all the way up into Wisconsin, snowing up in the UP and Michigan. You got snow beginning to move into Chicago to start your Sunday morning. All right, you got snow overspreading basically 2/3 of Illinois. You got snow beginning to take over the northern half of Indiana as we're getting into late morning into early tomorrow Sunday afternoon. And then we got pretty much a light to moderate snow event for the entire upper Midwest and Great Lakes region. Snow overspreading just about the entire state of Michigan by the time we get to midday Sunday. I mean, and it snows all the way back into central Wisconsin, all the way up into Canada, taking over most of the UP. This has snow all the way into the northwest corner of Ohio, snow all the way down to Indianapolis. Okay, so it could be certainly a wintry Sunday. We got to see how this unfolds, and then another area of snow gets going, and it's snowing back here in Minneapolis. So a lot to break down with this. As far as snowfall, between this entire event, between now and Monday morning, a couple inches of snow will fall in these areas of Oklahoma. Maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow, maybe an inch of snow in Woodward. Okay, but we certainly get up here in Kansas, guys. And, I mean, somebody's going to get a half a foot of snow in Kansas, if not more. I mean, you look down here, I think Hutchinson could get a half a foot, Great Bend, Salina, basically that entire little area. Wichita, a few inches of snow, certainly likely. Topeka, could get a couple inches. But I'm telling you, I really think that the snowfall could increase for areas of like Kansas City. I really do think that it could. In fact, if you look at the HRR, now this is always overdone, guys. Always overdone. Okay? But, it wants to drop, first of all, it wants to drop 7 to 10 inches of snow over areas of Kansas. It wants to, drop a lot of snow even into northwest Oklahoma. But it brings a few inches of snow into Kansas City, guys. Okay? So, and we'll have to look at this. This is actually the better thing to look at here. Yeah, there it is. A little bit lesser. But I mean, there it is. A few inches of snow into Kansas City. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Now, you look up here into the National Weather Service forecast for Missouri. Again, I think they're underplaying this. I really do. I think more snow could fall. Heavier snow could fall from this. I really do. And in fact, you look at the NAM. What's the NAM showing? And, not a whole lot more, but certainly more, right? This brings a few inches further south into Missouri. It does show a pretty distinct cutoff, but brings, a couple inches, 2 to 3 inches of snow into Kansas City, an inch and a half into St. Louis. Okay, so, you look at the blend of all models, and, it doesn't show a whole lot with this, but, Yeah, guys, I'm very interested to see how this plays out. And then, I mean, you look at the upper Midwest. I think this is a good forecast for the upper Midwest. It wants to, drop potentially a half inch to an inch in Chicago, a couple inches maybe in northern Illinois, but there very well could be more snow than this. I could see this being bigger than what this is forecast. And you see the heavier snows tucked up against the lakes. That's lake effect snows from after this event pulls through. So that's that. We'll do that again later tonight. But snow will continue to fall in Nebraska, even in the southern sections of South Dakota later on today. It'll still add up throughout the day, just light to moderate snow, and then some light snow could begin to make its way all the way up into kind of northwest Iowa, and then the snow will continue to add up in Nebraska. All right. Some of this is already falling. It's falling right now, but another several inches of snow is possible in these areas of Nebraska. It's a very cold storm up here in Nebraska, so the snowfall rates are a lot higher up here. But the western U.S., it will continue to snow in a good portion of, or something will continue to fall in a good portion of Utah throughout the day into the afternoon, into the evening hours, and this finally pulls away later on today. But snowfall between now and the next 24 hours will continue to add up, and in some cases in feet in these higher elevations of Utah. But even some of these lower elevations could briefly switch to snow, get an inch really fast. So we'll see how this happens out here. But the eastern U.S., it's a nice late November day, 50s and 60s across the deep south, but you don't have to get very far before it gets very cold. 30s, 40s. It's feeling like more so late November up here across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. It's locked in below freezing once you get into the northern portion of Iowa. Like I said, it's a cold storm up in Nebraska. We're snow falling in the low teens to the upper teens, the low 20s, locked in below freezing up here in the upper Midwest, and even in the Northeast, a very cold day. Really, the only area of the country that's nice today is the deep south, south central, and southeastern U.S. I mean, it's bitterly cold in the northern plains and the Rockies. Very cold air has settled in. So we'll get detailed on everything again tonight. That's all I got. God bless all y'all. Sorry if it mixed up some couple things there. It was a struggle starting that video. But you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.